Hello and welcome back. It's day 4 and today we're going to take 2 of the exercises, one that we did on day 1, one that we did on day 2, and I'm going to show you how we can add to those exercises to recruit additional muscles, making the exercises more efficient because they become what we call a compound exercise, which means that we get to work more than one muscle group in any one exercise. And then I'm going to introduce you to another exercise, which is called the clam. So come over to your mat and let's get you started. So just as we did on day 1, we're going to come down into our tabletop position and we're going to start with a bit of a cat-cow stretch, practicing our breathing whilst we're here. So taking a breath in, and then as we breathe out, squeeze the chin into the chest, tailbone under, lifting the spine, and then breathing in as we come back into our cow, looking slightly forwards, and again breathing out into our cat stretch, breathing into our cow. Good. Let's just take a couple more, just increasing that movement a little bit more each time, making the movement a bit bigger. Good, well done. Last one. Good. Now in session 1 we started with our swimming, moving opposite arm, opposite leg. We're going to add to the movement today to make it a bit more challenging for the core. So remember, we started the exercise with a little bit of a squeeze of the ribs to pelvis so that the tailbone tucks under slightly. We end up with more of a tabletop. From here, we start to move from the right arm, left leg. Now remember, our level 1 is that we don't need to lift the hand and the foot away from the floor, or we can lift one or either, and then of course we move into lifting both. Now if you've managed to work your way up to lifting both, then this is where you have the opportunity to add in this extra core element. If you're still working at the first 2 levels, then I suggest that you just stay with that just until you get more confident to bring the arm and the leg off at the same time. So let's start adding in that extra layer here. So from here, we're going to take the right arm, left leg out. Now all we're going to do, we're going to keep the torso really still, and we're going to glide the arm and leg away from the body, not too far, and then we're going to come back and back down on the mat. Now don't underestimate how difficult that movement is. So if we try the other side, lengthening away, again we glide the arm and leg away, not allowing that torso to swing, and then we come back. So this again is where we want to keep that rib to pelvis connection. So again, moving away. Now we want to try and keep the wrist and the ankle at diagonal. Now obviously the arm can come much further away from the body than the leg, but try and keep them symmetrical and try not to move too far away. So if I turn, so I'm facing you slightly here, as we come out, try not to bring the arm all the way down here. Yeah, just move it slightly away. Just a gentle sway to the side is going to be enough to achieve that core challenge, which is why we're kind of adding this little extra movement. So finish off and then just take a rest back into child's pose, loosen off into the wrists. And then from here, we're going to come over onto our back and we're going to come back into our bridge exercise. So again, we did this exercise in our very first session. So in our first session, we did our bridge. Heels nice and close to the bottom, feet fist width apart, hands down by the side. Now, the bridge is a mobility exercise for the spine. It also challenges the core. So let's have a squeeze of the ribs to pelvis. Let's start by pushing through the feet, peeling the hips all the way up, coming up nice and high onto the shoulders, pushing down evenly across the footbed, and then we roll back down. Good. Now again, this is our kind of level 1. We can add more challenge here for the core.
As we're up here in our bridge and as we rise up, the core has to work hard to keep the pelvis and the hips stable and not wobbling around. But of course the arms also play a major role in offering our spine that stability. So if we take the arms away, it makes it a little bit more challenging. So your progression option here is to roll up along the spine, come up onto the shoulders, and then once you reach the top, lifting the arms up, laying them on the floor overhead, and then leaving the arms overhead as you roll down. All of a sudden, this becomes a lot more challenging for the core and also more challenging for articulation of the spine. So again, we're rolling all the way up, coming all the way up onto the shoulders, lifting the arms overhead, sending them back, laying them on the floor, and again, rolling all the way down, leaving the arms overhead, and then bringing the arms back. Good, well done. Let's hit one more for luck. Coming all the way up, enjoying that massage for the spine, lifting the arms, resting them on the floor overhead, and again, slowly rolling all the way back down. And then bringing the arms back down by your side. Good, well done. Now from here, we're going to make our way over onto our side.
So we're going to come over onto our right side, and we've got an exercise now that works the hips and the muscles in our bottom called the glutes. Now the glutes are deemed to be, along with the core, a real powerhouse for the body. So they help to stabilize the hips, the pelvis, protect the knee joints. They've got a significant role in supporting the spine. So again, we're gonna challenge the glutes in this next session. So you're gonna bring the knees forwards, left knee stacked on top of the right knee, and you're gonna have your heels stacked and behind your bottom. Left hand down here in front of you. Now, if it's uncomfortable to have the arm out here, you can bring it in front of you and rest your head down on the floor or on a cushion. Now from here, we're going to keep the feet together and we're going to lift the top knee away from the bottom knee, and we're going to lower down. Now, people often get a little bit over ambitious with this exercise and they start to push that knee up so high that this hip starts to roll back, and essentially it kind of becomes a bit like a rocking motion. So the key thing here is to keep these hips stacked. So try and keep this hand in front. When people bring the hand up here, this is another way that we tend to end up rolling the hips back. So keep this left hand down in front of the chest. And as you lift the knee, almost push this left hip forward slightly, counteracting any imbalance that might force that hip back. Essentially, you should feel this in your bottom, in your left bum cheek as you're lifting and lowering the knee. Good, well done. We'll take one more and then we're going to have a go on the other side. So when you relax the knees down, if you feel a little bit sore in the bum cheek here, just step the leg back and just allow the muscle to loosen and relax. Give it a gentle massage. Don't whack it hard like some people do. And then we'll make our way over onto our left side and we'll do the same on the other side. So again, setting yourself up in the same way, knees forwards, heels back, right hand down in front of the chest. Again, the feet remain together and we just lift that top knee away from the bottom knee. Again, just making sure this hip doesn't roll back. You can actually have a quick glance down as well and just check that that hip isn't rolling back. But if you push this hip forward slightly as you lift the knee up, it should avoid that from happening. Squeezing into the glutes, keeping everything else still and relaxed. Just focus on working into the glutes and into the hips.
Good, well done. 2 more. Good, well done. Rest it down. Again, just loosen off the glutes there. Give the bum a little bit of a pat. Good, well done. And then from here, we're gonna come up and bring yourself, when you're ready, back onto your feet. I hope you enjoyed that session. Join me again tomorrow where we've got another 2 exercises that we did at the beginning that we're gonna add progressions to, and I have another exercise to introduce you to. See you tomorrow.